Hello. How is everyone tonight? Kelly, is your battery still alive? If you can hear me, let me know. Kelly's out like off grid somewhere. Not sure if anyone else is in here yet. Hi, Lisa. Lisa's here. Good to see you guys. I kind of decided impromptu that I was going to go live tonight. I seem to just decide these things. Oh, good. Loud and clear. Is there any delay in my audio tonight? It seems the last few lives I've done, I've had some audio delay or reverberation or something. So I'm curious to see how it is tonight. Wait to see a couple more people might trickle in here. How are you guys doing? I just got off a live of Lisa's. She was featured on another channel, which is pretty exciting. And Kelly, I'm assuming that you're at the 16 dot, or are you back home now? That was a pretty involved live, Lisa, with Gail. That was, it went a long time. That was good. Hi, Susie. Good to have you here. Thank you for joining. Good. I'm glad. Our internet is not the best here, and so we often struggle with video and audio problems. So I'm glad to hear that it's not an issue tonight. Found more delays on StreamYard versus YouTube. I haven't gone live on YouTube proper yet, just because our internet is so bad, and so sometimes it clicks out to the cell phone coverage, although we don't have cell service either. So we'll see. Kelly's at her new property alone. You have a lot to do there. I don't know if you can hear that. We have a neighbor in the property behind us. And their dogs are out. Hi, Simply Jan. Thanks for coming. And Alicia's here. Oh, said is Mrs. Doubtfire. Yes. Got a good crowd in here. Well, press that like button if you guys don't mind. Good to have you. So wanted to give you guys a couple updates on stuff that's been going around at the farm. Okay, I'll understand if you dip off, Kelly. Thank you so much for coming, though. I've missed you. Kelly's my girl, and I've missed her. She's off grid now, and we barely get to talk anymore. Good to have everyone on here. Susie and Jan have made it on here too. So a lot of you who know me know that we went away this last week. We took a couple days away from the homestead, and I have finally gotten the place to the point where I wouldn't say it's right where I want it yet, but it's getting close. We have quite a operation going here. We have the cows, we have the chickens, the ducks. We no longer have meat birds. We processed them earlier in the spring. We have quite a garden in multiple different areas that is fed by spring water, spring irrigation from a little creek that runs through our property. And to keep everybody watered and fed and all the garden watered is quite a feat. And so really you can't leave the homestead because there's a lot to do on a day-to-day basis. I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to that. I think almost everybody here has animals and garden, and we're all in the same boat, right? So I talked last time on my live about how I got a drip irrigation system put in, and it's not complicated. We are so far out in the boonies, and we have really late and early frosts, and sometimes freak frosts. We've had frosts and snow in July before. It's not going to be that way this year. We're sitting at like 110, 115 heat wave that's just now coming down. We're kind of now more in the 90s, which is nice. But we can't just have pipes and irrigation everywhere. It'll freeze. So I had to be careful with what what setup I used, and it needs to be able to be taken down at the end of each season. And it can't just be left to sit out there all year. And so I'm very pleased to have a system now on timers even. I'm getting fancy, you guys. That I can set up to water the garden as many times as I want. I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with timers for watering systems. So I love it because I got one. I got it off Amazon. I can figure out what it's called if you guys want to know, if you're interested. But yeah, Christmas in July, that's right. Oh, we got a lot of people. Hi, Drops Family Garden. Who else did I miss here? Everybody's just saying hi. Welcome, welcome. So glad to have you guys all. It has a screen on it, and it's really easy to use, and you can set up to water every 8 hours, every 6 hours at certain times. And then what I love about it is if it rains, it'll automatically turn off if it rains for a certain amount of time. So you're never going to overwater your garden. And so, and then with the cows, they're actually pretty easy. We have, again, from the spring, hoses that I just have set on a little, not drip, but just kind of a constant, very little flow to their stock waterers. So they always have water, and then there's plenty for them to eat. So that's not a problem. And Melnor timers. Okay. Yeah. I don't know what mine is. I have the box around here sometime. I'll have to look up the brand of mine. Oh, did Ryan pick you up one at auction? Excellent. They're just, I'm so in love with it. And I did have somebody look in on the chickens because they're a little bit more, like we have lots of waters and stuff, but we were gone for a little while and it was hot. But nothing died. My hanging baskets on my house, my vegetable garden, my root vegetables in my hugel culture beds. For those of you that have seen my video about my hugel culture beds, my deck flowers. But I did have one, what's the word? Not catastrophe. Oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, I had these beautiful, tall tomatillo plants, and the one is still looking good. I don't know if you can see it behind me. Right, this is a tomato, the one behind there. And I came to the other one in its pot. I have to have them in pots because, as I said, we freeze, and so I have to be able to take them in the garage. So I do have my tomatillos and my tomatoes and my peppers in pots on my deck. But I came home, you guys, and one of my tomatillos, casualty. Yes, casualty. That's the word I'm looking for. Had completely flopped over the side of the deck. And so I had to, you can't see it. I had to trim it off, and there was a whole bunch of beautiful tomatillos, but they would have died because it just snapped in half. So I've cleaned it up, trimmed it up. It was about 6 feet tall, that plant. And now it's kind of 4 feet, which is fine. It's not going to have as many tomatillos, that one. And I'm so bummed because these two plants, you guys, were laden with tomatillos. And I was so excited to make enchilada sauce, primarily, is what I'm going to be using all these tomatillos for. And, you know, it just makes you sick, right? And it's no fault. Oh, but I didn't say what happened. So the pot, I come home and there's standing water in it. There's holes drilled in the bottom of the pot, you know, for drainage. It historically drains great. It historically hasn't even needed to drain because it was so hot when we were gone that it was like just enough. I had it perfect, just enough to keep everything watered perfectly. I don't know how it could have gotten overwatered other than, and it wasn't dripping when I came home, but other than it must have been dripping constantly and something clogged the hole in the bottom. I don't know. So it got waterlogged and it just keeled over. So I'm so disappointed. So my second garden casualty. Does anybody know what my first garden casualty is? Here's a pop quiz. What was my first garden casualty this year? Oh, I have 2. I want to see if you guys have been watching my videos. Way to call you out publicly, eh? I'm going to pause. I want to see if anybody knows what my first 2 garden casualties of this year was. Launch Operation Salsa Verde this year. Yes, yes. There's so much to do with tomatillos and tomatoes and peppers, and I love it all. You and I are the tomatillo Twinkies. I know Alicia and I have been Country Mama Musings and I have been tomatillo sisters this year. Twinsies. Oh, I thought you meant Twinkies. I thought it was like a term of endearment. Yes, twinsies. I know. Drops Family Garden. Yeah, Drops Family Garden, you're a new sub to me. Thank you so much. And I also sub to you. We met recently on somebody else's live. So good to have you. My first, they occurred on the first day, but my first 2 garden casualties of this year were my sunflower. My other sunflower is doing good. I only had 2. My sunflower and my cucumbers. So we unfortunately, speaking of frost, got an early June frost, a really hard frost. And I had waited and waited and waited till the daytime temperatures were up and the nighttime temperatures were up and we were looking really good. And I put everything out. And as you guys know, sunflowers and cucumbers are quite susceptible to frost. And so unfortunately, the one sunflower did die. If you guys watched my garden tour, you'll know that where was I going? I looked at the comments and now I lost my train of thought. Oh no. Anyway, I gave a garden tour and I was saying that I was going to give them all a chance because the cucumbers looked like they might be salvageable and the sunflower had the one bloom was completely gone, but I thought the plant would be okay. No, the one plant is completely toast. I'll have to show you on my next garden update. But I am very proud to say that the cucumbers were not a garden casualty. They've come back and they're starting to bloom and blossom. So I'm going to have a good cucumber crop. I went ahead and did pull some that clearly hadn't made it out and planted some new seedlings and they're already coming up. So things are looking good on the cucumber front. Thank goodness, because I make pickles and we love to eat them fresh and all sorts of good stuff. So yes, Simply Jan is new as well. I'm so happy for some new subscribers. I'm grateful for you guys. Very, very grateful. Thank you so much. One thing for those of you that are new to my channel that you won't know is that I'm a fiercely supportive person. And if I subscribe to you, I really do try to watch all your videos in their entirety, leave lots of love. I really believe that the people that we choose to support with our YouTube channels, we should really like try to do that. And I don't like when people, come on as a fad or like in the hype and then they never support. So really appreciate you guys a lot. And I will do my best to be a good subscriber to you as well. So welcome. All right, let me catch up on comments. I've been talking a lot, which I suppose is the point of these lives, but Drops put green sauce on my eggs in the morning. You're like my husband, who hopefully will be joining us soon. He's getting off work and driving home from the hospital, but he should be joining us soon. He's part of our videos. For those of you that are new, I hope that you'll check out some of the videos to get to know us, but my husband Daniel should be here shortly. And the kids are in bed. I'm surprised that nobody's made their way outside yet, which is still a distinct possibility. Alicia, my tomatillos are well over 6 feet. They've been growing like weeds for you too. Lazy C, good evening. Thank you for joining. Excited to have you. I planted my tomatillos in the last week of May. Most people don't plant here until mid-June. Yeah, I had my tomatillos we do have a greenhouse. So I had my tomatoes and my tomatillos and my peppers and different things like that in our greenhouse. And then I direct planted our cooler crops. So I have some broccoli, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, Beets, carrots, all went out straight direct sow in the garden, and they're doing great. My cabbages are starting to get heads on them. Sorry, I jiggled you. I just planted them a few weeks ago, really. We're only the first week of July. I planted them. Oh, I guess I planted them in May still, but yeah, they're doing so well. And then I have potatoes, which are huge. We left on our vacation, and I came back, and the potatoes are absolutely gigantic, and they're flowering, and they're just enormous. I posted a little bit on my Instagram today about my potatoes. I'm so excited for them. These are the heartiest potato plants I think I've ever had, and I historically have a pretty favorable potato harvest, but this year they're going nuts. So I'm very excited to see what the harvest is going to be. Alicia, I can't wait to make your relish. I really can't. Drops is in Spokane. That's about 4.5 hours away from me. That's exciting. Yeah, I can't wait to see some of your garden knowledge, Drops. That's going to be awesome. Everyone's saying hi. Oh, is Daz in the house? Hi, Daz. I'm getting caught up here. Drops Family Garden. I started my tomatoes late without starts. I admit I bought some Romano tomatoes so I can eat them while waiting for the beefsteaks to grow. Yeah, tomatoes are kind of tricky. It really depends on Alicia. You make me laugh. Funny. Tomatoes are really rough because we either have an amazing tomato harvest or we can't grow them. If we struggle, last year I actually had a good tomato crop, but it was a very, very awfully rainy, cold season. It was really disgusting. But even so, I was the only one up here that grew a successful crop of tomatoes, which I was really proud of. And I think it was because of my greenhouse, although a lot of people up here do have greenhouses, but I was the only one that had tomatoes that were red and ripe and awesome in August and September, and everybody else had green tomatoes come even October. So some people didn't even get a tomato harvest, but yeah, it's hard. I've yet to grow potatoes here. I'm thinking of using 5-gallon buckets. Yeah, you should. I find potatoes, aside from blight, which is a pain in the butt, are actually pretty easy to grow, I have found. I think that you would do great in 5-gallon buckets. I think that they're loving my hugel culture beds this year. They have a lot of room to grow. There's a lot of organic material in there. And then I have that drip irrigation. So I've never had to water any of the leaves. And we've really not had too much rain this year, which is awful because we're in a drought and we're having forest fires and things like that. But as far as the garden goes, since I have drip irrigation, everything is so happy because it's just bathed in sunshine all the time and it's watered right at the root and the base. So no potato blight for me, hopefully ever again. And then tomato blight too, right, is a problem when it's wet and gross and those leaves are getting wet all the time. So I don't know if you guys can hear that. There's a helicopter. There is a forest fire about 25 kilometers away from us. We're not under any evacuation alert or order, anything like that, but we do hear the helicopters come by. I don't know if you can hear that. They have been going over the house today, so you may hear one fly directly overhead, but yeah, it's coming. I think you'll be able to hear it in a minute. But that's the thing with this drought is forest fires are absolutely crazy. Our forest is a thing of stress for me. It's beautiful, it's lovely, but boy, tinder dry. Okay, let me catch up on some comments. Ooh, you had a slug apocalypse, Drops Family Garden. Yeah, slugs are disgusting. Speaking of pests, I'm having ants in my tomatillos. So I put some food grade, oh, you hear it? I don't know if you can hear it. Probably just makes me look like I'm talking to myself. See if he's gonna come overhead here. Can you hear it? I don't know if you can hear them. It's kind of cool because you can see their water buckets. Oh, he's coming right over the house. Oh, no. I couldn't capture him. It's nice to know they're working so hard to fight the fire, but we were evacuated in 2017. We had a fire come extraordinarily close to the house. It was very scary. And of course we were evacuated. But as we were evacuating, the helicopters were coming and coming and coming. And it kind of gives you a little bit of a complex now when I hear the helicopters. And of course, this is one fighting the fire, but like it'll be October and you'll hear a helicopter go by to check the big power lines that go up to the ski hill, and you'll kind of just get it's a little reminiscent. Okay, yes, DE for the ants. Yes, that's what I have in there. I don't know how to pronounce that word. Diatomaceous earth? Is that how you say it? I don't know how to pronounce it, but that is what I spread all over my tomatillos today. Yes, DE. I'm just going to call it DE because I don't know how to pronounce it. All right, I was catching up on comments though. Yeah, 10-pound grow bags for potatoes, 5-gallon buckets. There's a whole bunch of good ones. Plant horseradish with your potatoes. Stops a lot of those issues with pests and blight. Interesting. Horseradish. Okay. Yeah, I haven't had, thankfully, a problem with blight now for a few years. I'm very grateful. But I know a lot of people do. Pain in the butt. We don't have slugs, thank goodness. But that's all really good info. Really good info. Yeah, Lazy C, I'll be interested to see what you do next year. I think that now that you have it in your mind, you'll probably grow more potatoes than the rest of us next year, huh? Yes, Alicia totally has a video on pests, for sure. Yeah, that's how you say it. Oh, Fowler Family Farm, hello. That's how you say it, diatomaceous earth. Excellent, excellent. Is my audio and video still keeping up? I like to check that every once in a while because of the reasons I mentioned at the beginning of this video with the poor internet. So that is my poor tomatillo. So for those of you that missed it, I went away. Somehow the tomatillo collected water from the irrigation, didn't drain through the holes, and the whole plant went. So I've lost a tomatillo. That's what you pretty much missed in this whole 22 minutes and 50 seconds. Plant horseradish with potatoes in between the potatoes, and it will take care of most pests. And then you can dig them up together in the harvest. That's awesome info. Thank you. I'm going to do that next year. Can't hurt to have one more tool in the arsenal, right? Against pests and blight. Always a good thing. Hey, Blance. Good evening. Good to see you. Tomatillo tragedy. Tomatillo tragedy 2021, you guys. There's going to be another helicopter. They're just a-going. But let's talk garden successes. So I just, I guess about a week ago, I had been concerned that my beets weren't going to come up. They had been showing good signs of growth for really ever since I'd planted them. They had germinated quickly, and then they stayed at these little tiny stubby things. And I was really worried that perhaps they had gotten too dry or too hot, because of course beets really don't love the hot, and it was so hot. And I'm pleased to say that they are coming up very nicely now, which I'm thrilled about. As long as you don't make that face you made on the live earlier. What face is that? That I made? I'm trying to think of what face I made. You'll have to enlighten me. Got so much chard, my chickens are snacking every day. Oh, the chickens are so happy when it's garden season, isn't it? Yogi won Swiss chard seeds on Garden State Gardener. Oh, that's cool. Apparently, I used to love Swiss chard when I was a kid, when I was a baby. I don't like Swiss chard now, so I'm not sure that I would grow it, but the chickens would love it. You're right. I need to thin the beets. Most of them are the size of a quarter now. Yeah, so, Alicia, okay. Yes, so I'm going to have to thin my beets soon because they are coming up very nicely. And I am very happy to say that they're now a success story in my garden when I was so worried about them being an epic failure. And I was bummed because my heritage on my mother's side is Russian. And so actually Ukrainian to be specific. Of course, it was all Russia back then, but we make a lot of Russian food, and that's been passed down to me, and I like to make a good Russian borscht. And so, of course, you need beets for that. So I was really bummed when it looked like my beets weren't going to make it because I was really looking forward to being able to freeze a lot of borscht for the winter. So now we're looking good. So I'm excited about that. Oh yes, Alicia's faces are, I love her faces. I'm going to pickle the beets and feed the greens to the chickens. Yes, pickled beets are delicious. I plan on pickling a whole bunch of things this year as well. I want to do dilly beans with my green beans. I want to pickle beets. I want to pickle some carrots even. Oop, we have a little spider going across the tablet. Starting to get buggy. I might have to move inside. We have Dane, Swede heritage, Viking. Most Ukrainians are Viking. It's interesting because my mother is Ukrainian and my father has quite a bit of Norwegian in him. So, of course, that's Viking. So maybe I'm all Viking. Just beat it. And then my tomatoes. So here's a funny story. I don't think I ever told you guys my tomato story. I got over anxious this winter for the warm season. So something that you probably don't know about me is I have a history of anxiety and depression, and I haven't struggled with it for a long time. Many, many years I've been doing very well. But this winter, I had a really hard time, and I thought that it was perhaps like some seasonal affective disorder. And I kind of went batty a little bit. And I've also been struggling with it again lately. And those of you that know me well know what a struggle that's been. But in the winter, I got a little stir crazy, and I planted tomatoes seedlings in February. Yeah. I planted them on seed mats under light in my house, and they went nuts. So by the end of March, I had like tomatoes that were this big. And yes, I have a greenhouse. So people were like, oh, just put them in the greenhouse. Well, I can't put them in the greenhouse because I can't put them outside until the end of May. My greenhouse is, let's just say they wouldn't survive being picked up in pots and brought up here from the greenhouse. So I'm thinking, well, what am I going to do? I have these tomatoes. They're so big and beautiful. I don't want them to go to waste, but it's March. It's the end of March. Like, what am I going to do? So I did an experiment. And I don't know if any of you have done this. I'm trying to find, I don't have any more little tomatoes. They're all big. So I read somewhere, I've never done this. Let me know if you've done this, but you can cut a tomato plant, or if they, it's not that you should cut it, but I think it's more for if you've had damage and you have to, or it breaks or something like that. If you cut them above the first two leaves, it'll potentially grow back. And so I said, well, they're done for anyway. I have these big, beautiful tomato plants that aren't going to make it to the full gardening season. I either pitch them or I try this cutting above the first two sets of leaves. So I do it, and I leave them in my greenhouse. It's still cold. It's the end of March. There's snow on the ground here. We're in Canada. We're in the mountains. We're almost in the Alpine. I want to show you guys my tomato plants. that are from those that I cut. Check it out. Is that not a beautiful, lush tomato plant? Look at it. That is a plant that I cut at the end of March from a tomato seedling that I planted in February, like the beginning of February. I think it was even the end of January, actually. So tomatoes, interesting start. Wouldn't recommend it. Won't do it again, no matter how anxious I get, no matter how much I want spring or summer to come. These dogs, blessed dogs. They're like right near our property line, otherwise they wouldn't be so loud. Huge success story though, because they're growing like mad. They're not leggy at all. They're big and beautiful and bushy and all the things that you want tomatoes to be. Anxiety and depression in this house widely occurring. Yep. Yeah, those are they're not from the cuttings, but they were the plants that I cut. Yeah, so isn't that interesting? Lazy C, I planted my suckers this year and have some little plants going from them. Cool. I've never done sucker plants. I've heard of that though. That's interesting. I would love to see. Have you done a video on it? I don't think I've seen a video on that. I'm not all caught up on your videos though. Anyhow, that's cool. That's cool. Yogi's tomatoes are like 6 feet tall. Yeah, they're going nuts. Tomatoes are so satisfying, aren't they? You can take a suckling from most plants like that. Yeah, I've never done it. I've always ever started things from seed, or if I cheat and buy them from the nursery. But yeah, well, I take that back. I can propagate like basil and stuff like that. But suckers are flowered up. That's cool. Dogs here, Bigfoot. Yeah. We had coyotes here last night. They were just a yapping away. I was talking to Alicia and Lisa late into the night, and they were at it. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about, Drops Family Garden. So it says basil, you can buy one plant, dip cuttings in water, and grow 10 to 15 plants from one basil plant. Basil is like, A, you can't have enough basil. B, so easy to grow. Love some good basil. At least they aren't going through your laundry basket when you're live. Yeah, Diesel, Yogi Hollow Farm's dog, was quiet during her live. She couldn't figure out why, and he was emptying out her laundry for her all over the floor. Thank you, Bland's Promised Land Ranch, for coming. I don't know if it was Eric or Monica. Oh, it says it's Monica. Movie with Eric before bedtime. Thanks for stopping by, Monica. I hope you enjoy your movie and have a good sleep. Drops, you know what? We need jokes. We need some lightheartedness. So that's all good. Lazy C, I'll have to put him in a video. I was worried they would die. I know. I feel like I've been taking advantage of a lot of garden experiments, and I've been lucky that they've all been working, but I haven't been videoing them. So you should definitely video them. Yogi just sold Ryan on starting tomato seedlings in February. Yeah, never have enough basil. You can make pesto. You can freeze it in ice cubes or olive oil. You can freeze the actual leaves, although you have to be careful what you use them in. Usually only lasagna will that work for, because they go all wilty. But basil is so you can never have too much basil. What else have we been doing? We talked about the tomatoes and the tomatillos and the potatoes. Oh, my peppers. I have like 2 peppers that are doing awesome, but that's it per plant. I don't know what's going on. I have jalapeno and ghost chili peppers this year. These dogs. They're back. But my peppers only have like 1 pepper on them. I don't know. It's making me mad. Does anybody have any thoughts on that? I mean, it's too late now. Like the season is going, right? For peppers. So I don't know what else I would do about it, but Lazy C, I have a mess of holy basil all over my garden. Ants planted it for me. That's a good problem to have. That's awesome. I dehydrate basil and oregano. Yeah. And use fresh basil and oregano when I make homemade pizza and pasta. That sounds so good right now. I don't think I've eaten supper, actually, now that I come to think of it. Fresh herbs on anything is the best, isn't it? My father was an old Italian man and loved his garden. He would freeze basil leaves in Ziplocs on paper towels layered and use it for everything. Ooh, why the paper towels? Just to suck out the moisture a little bit? Yeah. I usually put all my herbs in mason jars, glass mason jars, and put them in the freezer. And I find that they freeze up pretty good that way. For basil, I put mine in olive oil in the ice cubes because I find that most things I'm using for that for in the wintertime, the leaves would be too wilty. But I jiggled you again, Alicia. That's the second time I've jiggled you tonight. I find that I like just the straight basil leaves in lasagna. So I'll pull some out of the mason jars in the freezer for lasagna and I'll just layer them. And it doesn't really matter if they're wilty because the flavor is still there. So, oh, I see a child out. A child has made its way out to the living room. That's okay. He's old enough. He can take care of himself. That sounds snotty. I don't mean it like that. It just, he's really truly is old enough to manage himself. Peppers didn't do well for a lot of people. Have a good sleep, Lazy C. See you next time. I have a little indoor greenhouse for the winter and grow herbs and salad stuff. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I wasn't trying to be snotty. Just the truth. Just the truth. Yeah, I'll just be thankful for the peppers I got, I guess. But I was really hoping to make some like pico de gallo and some salsa and different things with all the tomatoes I have. I have so many tomato plants this year. I have tomatoes everywhere. I have tomatoes on my deck. I have them on the side of the house. I have them everywhere. Really looking forward to making my own pasta sauce, my own marinara sauce, salsa. My husband is big into the hot sauce and different things like that. So I'm really bummed that my pepper, whatever, it's not a success. Let's put it that way. Oh, Lisa, I didn't know you do hydroponic lettuce. That's cool. I should learn that from you because I would love to have year-round lettuce fresh like that. Never have tried it. That would be good. Hey, Daz. Simply Jan. Saying hi to each other. What a cool community, YouTube is. We get to chat and meet each other and say hello. It's fun. I like to make pico de gallo with tomatillos, tomatoes, onions, and cilantro with jalapenos. Yeah, yum, yum. There's just nothing quite as delicious as fresh salsa or freshly made pico de gallo, is there? I just, I don't know, store-bought can't really hold a candle to that, can it? And then just knowing that you've made it fresh from your garden is just so satisfying. And lime juice. Yeah. Super easy and plan to do on a video. Okay. I can't wait to learn. I'm all for learning new things. So hook me up. Teach me. We go through a ton of lettuce in this house. So we have 3 growing boys and we go through a lot of food. Or fresh broccoli. Fresh broccoli? You mean to say that you grow broccoli year-round, or what are you referring to? Goes good on omelets or chili relleno. Oh, yeah. Yes, there's so many uses, isn't there? So many uses. I got a list of about 10 recipes. She's no longer on here, but Roost and Rescue, Kelly, gave me a whole bunch of new recipes for things that I've made before, like pasta sauce, like salsas, like some of these things, but with a twist. I don't, I think they're, I mean, I have them written down, but I can't wait to try some of the new recipes because I think that, I don't know. I like the things that I've made, but I sometimes feel like I get stuck in a rut, you know? Do any of you feel like that? Like I can the same fruit every year. It's cherry season here. The orchards are teeming with cherries, and I know that in July I'm going to be canning cherries, and then I know after cherry season comes peach season, and I know I'm going to can and freeze peaches, and then it's, you know, pear season, and just whatever, the list goes on. And I can and freeze the same things, and I make the same tomato sauce, and I make the same salsa, and I make the same stuff. And so I'm just interested to have different people's recipes. So if you have a favorite recipe or something that you do to yours that's unique, I would really like to hear, because I want to branch out. I want to make things that are new to me, new to our family. So send me all your things. Yeah. Josh is in the house. Hello. Josh is one of my, I haven't been on Instagram or YouTube for that long, and Josh is one of my oldest friends, which isn't saying too much. It's been a few months, but really glad to have you on, Josh. I'm excited that you're here. One of my oldest YouTube and Instagram friends. Caterpillars devoured your broccoli, Simply Jan. Oh, I had cabbage moths last year, and I just about had a hernia when I came home one day, and my cabbages were almost ready for harvest. And I'd said to myself, I'm going to let them go a couple more days. And I had been keeping an eye on them, and the cabbage moths got into them, and I was so upset. Ugh. Caterpillars have not been an issue for me this year, says Josh. Well, that's good. Works good on baking fish. Oh yeah, fish. There's so much good stuff that can go on fish. Yeah. Mango salsa. Yes. Yes. Hi, Anne. Welcome. Welcome. Good to have you on here. And Hooper's Mayamazi style's on here. That's awesome. Thanks, guys, for joining. Got to get the sheets on the bed. Yeah, at least you got to sleep in comfort, my friend. Get those sheets on your bed. Thank you for coming. Have a good night. Red snapper with that pico de gallo mango sauce is the bomb. Oh, you guys are making me hungry. You really are. Pico de gallo, anything, salsa, anything is delicious. I think the wasps have been getting the caterpillars this year. The garden is full of them. Yeah. Kind of a catch-22, eh? It's like you don't want a wasp problem, but at the same time, if it saves your garden. Everyone's saying hello. So glad everyone's on here. Bye, Lisa. Take care. She's getting her sheets on her bed. Hooper's Mayhem Aussie style. Good to have you on here. A newer friend we met on Ridge Life's Live, and so many cool people that I've come into contact with through this avenue. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Don't say that. My wife told my sister-in-law that I made her fat with my food. I mean, if you got good food, what is it? Happy wife, happy life. Yeah, we have so many good people on here right now, don't we? Got a good crew. Good crew. I'm so grateful that you guys are joining me tonight. Wasps are only a problem if they move into the garage. Yep, that's right. Okay, you guys. I don't know how many of you guys are friends with Josh the Homesteader on YouTube or subscribed. You know what I mean. I was thinking Instagram. You have to go. Please go. I'm not even kidding you. You need to go and find his video about the day that he brought his bees home. I don't want to say anything else because I don't want to ruin the surprise for you, but please, if you're not subbed to Josh, you have got to go watch. You're going to laugh the day he brought his bees home. It's not funny, really, but I'm not going to give anything else away, but you need to go check out that video. The way he brought his bees home and what ended up happening, YouTube gold right there. YouTube gold. Yes, Simply Jan, thank you so much. Grateful for all the thumbs up. Always grateful. Yeah. Ooh, you harvested your first acorn squash. It's always so exciting anytime you harvest anything, right? I will, I don't know how to make Josh a mod. I have to learn all this stuff. I am so fresh to YouTube and I'm even fresher to doing lives, but I do need some moderators. Yes. Yes, Josh is good people. Anybody who's seen that video, the bees, it should be a YouTube classic. I wish it had gone extraordinarily viral because it's just amazing. So he can drop his link. Oh, how do I do that? Tell me how I make him a mod. Let's see if I can figure it out. Uh-oh, put user in timeout. No, I don't want to do that. No. No. Oh, Josh, I don't want to put you in timeout. It says put user in timeout or block user. Right now I'm on a computer. I'm on a computer right now. Click the 3 buttons. Yeah, I clicked the 3 buttons, but it says block user or put them in timeout. I'll pull it up here. I'll pull it up here myself. Yes, I really need to learn how to do this better, don't I? Okay, I'm gonna Josh the Homesteader. This is so old school, you guys. I'm so sorry. I will learn. I hope I'm still live. I'm in another something's going on with my ducks. Well, I'm on StreamYard, so I'm not sure if that matters if I'm on StreamYard. There, that's his link. Did it work? Let me know if that link works. Oh, I have to do it on my phone. Yeah, okay. So I'll know that for next time. I'm learning a lot of stuff. I'm not logged in as the channel owner. Yeah, I think maybe I'm on StreamYard. Maybe that makes a difference. I'm not sure. Anyhow, hopefully that worked. That's Josh's site. Go to the one about the bees. It's so good. Oh, good. There you go, Josh. Sending you some love your way. You got to sub to him, you guys. Hilarious, hilarious videos. But he got his first acorn squash. This is a funny story. I have a spaghetti squash that I harvested last fall. And this is embarrassing to say. It was sitting on my counter until just recently. And it was this beautiful yellow, beautiful squash. And we just never ate it. And we sat and sat and sat and sat. And my husband says to me, that spaghetti squash is going to be so old and disgusting. We have to throw it away. Because it's been 9 months since I harvested it, you know? And I'm like, no, it's going to be fine. So I cut it open. Better than the day you harvested it. 9 months later. Spaghetti squash. Isn't that funny? Oh my goodness. Can't moderate people on StreamYard. Okay, good to know. But the link worked. Josh needs a timeout. Oh, Lisa. Watching and listening from the sidelines. We love you, girl. Yeah, okay. I haven't done any of my videos yet in YouTube. I just always do it in StreamYard because I was told by somebody, I don't know if it's true or not, that if you have a bad connection, StreamYard is a little bit friendlier, but I don't know, maybe that's a complete lie. I don't know. Save seeds and feed the rest of the chickens. Yeah. Oh, I'm getting beat up. Beat up. Bugged up. Bit up. That's what I'm trying to say. Can't even speak. Oh dear. What else? I had so much to update you guys on. Well, you know, with the cows, we got rid of Mama Honey. She was a really nice cow. I'm really sad to be without her, but she was getting to be quite vocal and causing a commotion all the time. And I felt like I was a slave to my cows, which I should never be, because she would bellow if she wasn't fed on time. And it got to the point where I didn't want to listen to her anymore. So I found her a really amazing home, super cool girl, and her husband. But the girl and I have kept in touch. Really neat couple. And so they get her home, and we had weaned her calf, and everything was fine, and the calf was doing well. But the cow, hello, Daniel's here, you guys. Are the kids in bed? No. All right. Thank you for coming, Simply Jan. Here's Daniel, who hates being on film. Say hello. I'm making him uncomfortable. Anyway, so long story short, she had a hernia without her calf. Hernia, even though the calf was old enough to be by itself and had been by itself on our homestead. So the people had to come back the next day, long story short, and come get her calf. So we sold both the cow and the calf in back-to-back nights because Honey had a hernia. Literally. She like crossed a river, broke out of a fence, like the whole 9 yards. It was awful. Do not care for spaghetti squash. Love butternut squash. Yeah, I was just happy that it was good. That sounds a lot like Sherman and Diesel. Yeah. Simply Jan. Hi, Daniel. Got to get rid of my rooster. He crows for treats. Oh.
He crows for treats?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Noisy roosters are the worst. So I have a neighbor. He lives down at the bottom. Like, there's like several parcels of property as you wind down to the creek, and he lives like at the bottom down by the creek. It used to be my father's place where he grew up because all of this land was owned by us at one point in time. Anyway, he comes up and he'll like chat with us. And he says, well, because I apologize for the cow mooing all the time. And he's like, oh, no, that's fine. It doesn't bother me. But if you had a noisy rooster, now that would be a different story, he says to me. He can't even hear the roosters where we are, I don't think. But I'm appreciative of that because I want to be a good neighbor. But a noisy rooster is never a good thing. And we don't have jerk roosters anymore, thank goodness. But we do have some noisy roosters.
I've had noisier roosters.
Yeah.
It's not too bad. Ours are pretty good.
They do let you know, though, in the morning.
It could be worse.
But probably just because we have so many roosters right now.
Right.
We had our boy Handsome. He was our main rooster for a long time. We have him, yeah. And then we had several batches of chicks this year. And we kept on getting more roosters out of the batches of chicks. So how many do we have now? I guess we only have 3. But we have a little batch of chicks that we got in late April, and I think one of those is a rooster. So we'll have 4.
Yeah.
Which we can't have 4.
No.
So we'll have to figure out something. And then we had 4, but we rehomed one to the neighbor. So we have a video about that. His name was Kukuli. He was our little son's rooster. I'm getting bit up. But he has been rehomed to our neighbors, so that's a good story. Feel good and well story. Josh, I like spaghetti squash, but I agree butternut is my favorite. I like spaghetti squash better than butternut. I'm not a squash person, really. I like zucchini. Oh, it's so itchy.
No.
You don't like, but you make a good zucchini fritter.
Yeah, that's okay.
Do you hear that rooster? A little weak. We have a special needs rooster, you guys. His name is Lollipop. He's about 20 feet tall. He looks like a flamingo. And he walks like this.
He lumbers.
Bless his heart. He's such a good boy, but he's useless. But I mean, he's our useless rooster, so
Can't get rid of him.
can't get rid of him. Drops Family Garden. There's about 4 roosters around here. I think they're going for a quorum. Well, you can have like your own hockey team soon with roosters. Oh, Alicia's rooster starts at 3 a.m.
Yeah, that's why ours are good. They're not that bad.
They're not that bad.
No.
But it gets light at 4 a.m. here. So I guess our roosters are going at 4 a.m. too. But not in the winter or anything. Yeah.
No.
Thankfully, most of my neighbors are over 60 and almost deaf. We really don't have any neighbors around here, but we do have a couple. And yeah, it is what it is. My ducks are real chatty. Yes. So our new ducks are real chatty. You go and get them in the morning to let them out, and they're quack, 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 quack.
They're so fun.
I love them. We got Indian, what are they called?
Roadrunner.
No, not Roadrunner. Oh, what are they called? Indian Runner. An Appleyard mix ducks. Yeah. And they're really good. Roadrunner. They're really good little ducks. They are really good egg layers every day.
Oh,
yeah. We have duck eggs every day out the wazoo, I was going to say. But they're good. They're like nice little ducks.
And friendly.
Yeah. I was a zucchini chip making fool last year. Ooh, zucchini chips. So what? Just a little olive oil, salt, pepper, throw them in the oven kind of thing? Those might be good.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like zucchini chips? I didn't make zucchini, or I didn't plant zucchini this year. I'm going to plant zucchini next year? No. He makes good zucchini fritters. What do you make in them? Zucchini, carrot, egg, breadcrumbs, onion?
Mm-hmm. Garlic.
So buggy out here. Oh man, my summer squash and zucchini are going crazy. I can hardly walk between the rows, Josh says. I don't know. It's just it's satisfying even to have something go nuts in your garden, even if you don't eat it.
Like, you can always give it away.
Yeah. I think if I had zucchini and squash going nuts in my garden, I'd be excited.
Oh, for sure.
Even if I didn't like it. Like we were talking earlier about Swiss chard. But you better believe if it was growing good, I'd be happy.
I'd take Swiss chard over zucchini.
Really?
Yeah.
You would?
Oh, for sure. I like it. I like making it with the breakfast, the eggs.
No.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't like Swiss chard.
You liked it when I made it before.
You fed me Swiss chard before?
It's been a while.
Oh man, had I known it was Swiss chard, I wouldn't have eaten it.
But it was good.
I guess. Did I say I liked it?
Yeah.
What did you make it in? An omelet?
I cooked it up in a pan and I poached eggs in it, and it was like a breakfast. It was a breakfast meal.
I don't recall, but I'm sure glad. I'm going to watch out now. You're going to throw it in there, aren't you? On secret. On the sly.
I like Swiss chard.
Not my rooster. If he crows before 5:30, I go and spray him with a hose. Virgin olive oil, garlic, salt, and pepper, and dehydrate. We need a dehydrator. I've been learning about lots of things to do with the dehydrator.
Yeah.
My Mastiff wakes me up before any of the outside animals. She's quite pushy now that she's all better. Is she all better now, Josh? That's so great. Josh had the worst veterinary luck in the month of, what was it? In the month of May, or was that April? You remember Josh had like the sick dogs, and then one got hit by a car, and then they thought had cancer, but then didn't have cancer.
Oh.
I think you were around. He talked about it when you were around, but maybe you don't recall. Anyways. Drops is only on 1.5 acres. That's why my garden is not a farm. Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. The size doesn't matter as long as you're doing what works for you with the size you have, right? It's all you can do. My mustard seed is about ready to harvest. The black mustard pods are very spicy. I didn't end up planting my mustard. So Josh, I know. I didn't plant it.
I'm told we need to do golden radishes.
Why gold? Well, radishes harvest instantly. They're like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Why golden? I don't like radishes.
Because they're sweet and they taste more like an apple, and you can just eat them raw. They're not spicy like the standard,
Has
red.
anyone had golden radishes?
I want to plant some. We're going to do some. Maybe not this year. I want to try.
Yeah, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we could plant them this year. They're so quick.
Apparently they're very sweet and really good.
We can go to Buckerfields and see if they have the seeds.
We should.
Yeah, they'd be ready this year.
Mm-hmm.
Golden radishes.
I'm gonna make her a believer. I like radishes.
I don't like radishes. Ones too.
No, but
you love spicy though.
But these are not spicy.
Yeah?
These supposedly are mild, and they're way better than the red radishes.
Yep. We can try it. I'm really bummed about my mustard though, because Josh, you're like the star of my show tonight. Josh does these garden tours, and he had mustard, and I really wanted to plant some, so I got seed, and I never ever planted it. So Josh, I want to know, if I plant it now at the beginning of July, would I still be able to get mustard, or has the ship sailed for me? Keeping in mind that I'm going to get frost in late August, although maybe not this year. Can you get up and we switch this bench? Just my back is hurting. There. Perfect. Hey, Free Handley, you snuck in on me. So glad to see you. I think I've missed a lot of things. Drops Family Garden. No worry. I slip in onions when my kid isn't looking. When my wife was alive, I didn't tell her what was in the food and made a good oxtail and cow feet. That's a good story. Slip in onions. We slip things to our kids too. Sometimes they find out, sometimes they don't. I made pickled radishes and fermented radishes too for steak garnish. Ooh, pickled radishes would be good.
Yeah.
For steak. Been uploading videos. Good. I can't wait to see your videos. Great on salad too. I've had the Asian sweet radishes. They are very sweet. I've never seen any radish seeds other than the normal ones here.
I don't know.
Like, we could go on West Coast Seed Catalog and see if they have any. I have a video on spicy fermented radishes. Oh,
yum.
You had him. Spicy fermented radishes. Everybody's saying hello. I roast radishes too. But then you would just eat them
with steak
in that moment, right? I roast radishes. I missed that. I roast radishes and onions for keto diet with steak. Ooh.
Yeah.
You would like that.
Oh, I'm hungry.
I know.
Had supper.
I know. We've been talking about food this whole time. And like mango pico de gallo and like all sorts of stuff. It should be fine for you. Spring or fall for mustard. Your shorter season means no super hot summer, then you couldn't plant them. Yeah, well, this summer's been psycho. I haven't talked to you in a long time, Josh, but we just got done like 115 degrees for 10 days straight.
Yeah, but it's not supposed to. Well,
maybe it won't do that again. No. But it'll be 90s, 100 into late July. It'll be 90s.
90s.
Okay, so then, Josh, when should I plant my mustard then? If my summers are hot until the last week of July, and then it won't be hot anymore up here. First week of August, maybe when we get back, I plant my mustard. When we get back from our big trip. And then where should I plant them? Where is the best place to plant the mustard? Yeah, we had the heat wave. It's been crazy. It's finally going now, but we broke all sorts of records. I think a lot of places have broken records. We were gone for a little while. We're like living in the lake, and we do have the creek down on our property, so we've been just like sitting in the creek all day long, every day.
They inflate a boat now at work and fill it with water and ice for people. Come in the hospital.
What do you mean they inflate a boat? What do you mean?
There's an inflatable
Where?
on a stretcher,
And people get in it?
and we submerge them in water and ice in an inflatable raft
For heat stroke.
for heat stroke
In the ER.
in the ER.
That's
It's a
hilarious.
thing. A lot this year.
Really?
Oh yeah. They used it like
That's disgusting. You dip multiple people in the same boat?
it gets sanitized.
That's disgusting. That's so gross.
That's the least of it.
That's so gross. That's so gross. We got to catch up on our comments. That's gross. Radishes like carrots and spinach, you need to do succession planting according to your grow zone. Yeah, radishes we'll be able to do. For sure, we'll be able to do radishes. I'll be able to fit them in, for sure. Plant in partial shade if it's hot, so it doesn't bolt. Yeah, so we can plant it in the rock wall garden.
Great.
All of my spring cabbage bolted. No sauerkraut till fall. Oh, I'm surprised stuff didn't bolt for me. I noticed my oregano is bolting today, so I cut it all off. I cut all the flowers off, and I think it'll be okay.
Yeah.
I had to do, and that's when I noticed that so I have a herb planter, you guys, and it has like a drain plug where I think I'll be able to scrub it off, but anyway, it dripped out like this rusty dirt water onto our deck, and it stained it, and it looked like there's straight rust on our deck. That'll clean off.
Hopefully that too.
Yeah. Anyway, I was surprised that my cabbage didn't bolt, my broccoli didn't bolt. A lot of stuff didn't bolt. You should do the rest of the live like that. Just do it. See if anyone can take you seriously. Most radishes, carrots, spinach will bolt above 75. Yeah, I know. I'm so surprised my stuff didn't bolt. It was crazy. It should have bolted. I don't know. I got so lucky. So lucky. So lucky. My carrots are doing really good. I need to thin them. Oh, my cilantro is all in seed. Super excited because I like the seed coriander better as a seasoning. Yeah. I didn't do cilantro this year at all because, well, I don't know why I didn't do it. I have seed as far as that goes. I didn't like how I did it last year, and so I just didn't do it at all this year. But I could still plant some, I guess.
I liked the dill seed when we were doing pickles. Remember, and then I saved all that extra.
Was it seed or was it the flowers?
Yeah,
the
it was
seed.
the flower.
Yeah. So when I did pickles last year, of course you do it with dill, obviously, when you do dill pickles. I should clarify, dill pickles. And he saved all the seeds from the like flowering heads, and they're really potent. And he would put them in like
lots of stuff.
Yeah, like what did you put it in?
Oh, sometimes I used to when I did eggs in the morning.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I didn't use it that much, but I liked it.
We probably have some in the freezer.
There's still some in the freezer.
But it's really potent. So if you want dill flavor without using all the dill, you just need like a couple little dill seeds, and it's very flavorful.
I bet you we could do it when we make burgers. Use it with burgers.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be good.
Yep, definitely. You in Montana in Zone 5, best to plant in mid-August. No luck with carrots. They were all a failed experiment in in a failed experimental grow bed. Oh no, why? Why was the grow bed experimental? Was that your cinder block garden bed that you did? Josh's grow zone 6. Oh really? You're not warmer than that, eh, Josh? I would have thought that you were 7 or 8. Maybe not. Your fall would get cooler. We are zone 3 or 4, depending on the year. Seems to go in like 5-year cycles here. We will definitely get frost in May for sure, sometimes into June.
Yeah, we'll get a frost in June.
Yeah. And then we usually get a frost in September, sometimes August, sometimes not till October, but usually around Labor Day we'll get a frost. Tom's here. Hi, Tom. Oh, in one of the lasagna beds. Yeah, okay. Can you go see what that's all about? We have a little child who has come to the door. Oh, it's the cat. Never mind. So grow in August and in the spring and you'll have carrots. Yeah, I usually plant my carrots in the last couple weeks that there still is going to be frost. The trouble is then they won't germinate. Carrots are pretty frost hardy as far as that goes, but then if my soil isn't warm enough, they won't come up. So I do better in the fall because you can leave them in the ground a little bit longer and they sweeten up really nice, and could probably even do 2 batches of carrots.
Yeah.
Depending. It is central Missouri, so some years I'm 7, some years I'm 5. Yeah, fair enough. A lot of those I mentioned need the first frost to germinate. Yeah, it's kind of hard where we are, particularly because things that are frost hardy or frost tolerant, like that's fine. You could plant those, but then you go to like 20 degrees Fahrenheit or 15 degrees Fahrenheit, you get some like March cold snap, and then everything just dies. Like it's not like it's like 30 degrees, 32 Fahrenheit. That's what stinks about our zone. Garlic the same way, yeah. Oh, tomorrow I get to harvest garlic scapes. Super tasty. Yeah, everyone I've been seeing has been harvesting their garlic scapes. Plant garlic in the fall or 2 weeks before the first thaw, yeah. So how most people do it up here is they plant it in the fall. You remember like Selena? And then they would just let it overwinter. Although, I've been seeing a lot of people on Instagram, of course they're on the island. Vancouver Island. Not even remotely the same growing zone as we are, but they're not even remotely. But planting theirs in the spring and then harvesting now. That would not work for us. We'd have to plant it in the fall and have it overwinter. I use the ground as a root cellar here and just cover with biomass. So what zone are you then? Drops Family Garden. Do you guys hear that bird? That was a really weird sounding bird. Yeah, I would like to try to see if I could do carrots and not overwinter them, but people do them into like even up here, supposedly. I've never done it. And then cover them with straw, and then you have carrots into like November and December. Nice. But I don't know if that would work here.
Try it.
Yeah. And then Josh, what were you telling Elisa at Yogi Hollow Farm about strawberries? They did something with strawberries too in straw. Zone 6B. Too wet for in the ground storing. It rots during the wet winters. So what about our winter where it's like super snowy, but it's not otherwise wet, like it's icy and cold and freezing? I don't know. because our springs are pretty muddy. I don't know. I'm more of a desert climate. Where are you at, Drops Family Garden? It's finally cooling down at night.
It's way nicer.
It was so hot in the night that you could hardly even sleep, and you'd come outside and it was so hot. Mind you, nothing compared to when we lived in North Carolina, because it was humid and gross. It's not humid here, but during this heat wave I'm talking about now, we don't have air conditioning in our house because we don't need to. We're up in the mountains. We don't need air conditioning ever, but we sure did this time. And now being outside, it feels so nice. You have a fuzz on your cheek, other cheek.
Last year, I think we only felt like we needed it for 2 weeks.
And
it
usually
got real
it's
hot.
yeah,
It didn't cool down.
yeah. Well,
Otherwise, at nighttime, it cools down.
every year in late July, it's really hot for
Yeah.
2 weeks. Yeah. Most strawberries are self-pollinating. You can just take them indoors in a pot and put a fan on them like tomatoes to pollinate them. West of Spokane. Oh, we got a couple Spokaners in here. Oh, you just cover the strawberries with hay or straw to overwinter. Muddy spring is fine. You just need to harvest them before they have a chance to rot and replant them. Josh told me when to remove the straw off the strawberries after winter. Yeah, we would have to cover them up too because our winters are too cold, like you, Yogi. Like with turnips and rutabaga. I used to live in Georgia. Lived in Georgia for 20 years. Yeah, we came from, well, I mean, I'm from here, but we came from North Carolina. We lived there for a decade. Totally different grow zone. Okay, Alicia, have a good night. Take your sunburned self and take care of that. You need some, I don't know, that sounded weird. I just meant take care of your sunburned self is what I was trying to say. I know, I can't speak. No AC here either. Nights cool off typically. In North Carolina, we needed it always. Yeah, I know. You couldn't live without air conditioning in North Carolina. Yogi used to live in Asheville. Lisa used to live in Asheville.
Oh.
Yeah. No humidity here for the most part. I think that our cats are fighting. Our indoor cat and our outdoor cat. Rascal's trying to eat, and Henry, who's our indoor cat, is like watching over him. He's come out for a visit. I think Lisa at Yogi Hollow Farm, her weather is probably quite a bit similar to our South Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
Black Hills is South Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
Cooper's Mayhem. Sorry, I'm back. Just had my dad pop over visit. How are we all doing today? Oh man, you missed like every food known to man we've covered. We've covered recipes and gardening and oh man, you missed everything food. So I hope you ate, although that's past now. So jiggle me one more time. Jiggle just for you, Alicia. We covered them in manure and only some plants made it through. We were in a weird place here with several zones, but mainly 4B. Yeah, so you're pretty close to what we are, yeah. Happy jiggles. Oh, what would we do without Alicia? I've lived in grow zones 5 through 10. The moisture and stuff during the seasons is all different. Yeah, humidity is huge. And rainfall. North Carolina was quite wet. Like everything was lush. We got quite a bit of rain.
Lots of rain.
Rain every day, sometimes in the summer.
Lots of thunderstorms.
Lots of thunderstorms, yeah. It's pretty dry here in the summer. I was talking at the onset of the video that we're in like a drought right now in the forest fires, and it doesn't really rain here at all in the summer.
No.
Like it really doesn't rain from June to August, really. I made jambalaya on Saturday. Ooh. That's something that we never make, jambalaya.
No.
Jeez, Josh, what the heck? Use goggles or go blind. Yes, everybody say hi to Hooper's Mayhem. New friend from Ridge Life. So glad to have you on. I met some cool people from Ridge Life. The only thing that stinks about Ridge Life is that you get like 30 new subs, and then the next day, 27 of them are gone because YouTube eats your subs. It has this weird algorithm that it takes away your subs because it thinks that they're bots, even though people leave comments. So I've met some really cool people, and then I know that YouTube has taken away some of their subs, and I'm really bummed. And then it's taken people away that I've subbed too. Like I started following a whole bunch of really neat channels after his last Tuesday night live, and a few of them are gone, and I can't remember who they were, so I can't even go back and add them. So I'm gonna have to just keep an eye out on the lives that are coming up. Dry here too, but we actually got rain today, Lisa says. We suffer with forest fires also. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's annoying when YouTube does that. Say friends, not subs. Yeah. Hi, Mijas. Are you all settled in after your move? They had a big move. They moved their barn, and they've been moving and unpacking and packing and crazy stuff. They have an animal sanctuary. It's pretty cool.
Oh,
yeah.
That's neat.
Good to have you on here. You guys have been busy. You guys must be exhausted. I hope that you're have everything more settled now and are getting situated. The scary thing about forest fires is that there's a huge one about 2 hours northwest of us, which obviously won't affect us. And then there's one that burnt down a town about 2 hours away from that just in this last week. And they're just devastating. Like, not that forest fires are ever good. Obviously they're not, but they're like leveling whole towns. Huh? Oh, okay. Daniel's going to eat. He just got home from work, so he's going to head inside and get some food. All of our food talking has made him hungry. But I don't remember forest fires being like this when I was a kid, so I'm not sure how many of you, a lot of you know this, but I grew up on this property and in this house. This is my childhood home. And I don't remember forest fires like this. I think that they're getting worse and worse every year. I really do. All right. Ooh, I'm missing comments. Pretty much just have some odds and ends. Good. I'm glad. It's a lot of work to move, and you guys moved buildings, and oh my goodness. No fires in Forest Service land, and grateful because yikes, that would be a mess. My bees are ready for their first honey frame to go on. Oh, that's cool. The famous bees that we talked about. Yeah, we're all looking forward to updates, Mijas. You guys got a lot going on. I can't wait to see how everything's going to look. I put up a coop cage this weekend during the 4th. Oh, that's cool. That'll be nice for you. That'll be really good. Got to fly. I fly back to work tomorrow and got a load of last minute jobs to do around the house. I hope you have a good day. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate you. It's so good to meet you, become acquainted over the last week. And I can't wait to catch up on all of your guys' videos. I'm so behind on videos. Like I said earlier in this live, I really do want to be a supportive friend to you guys and watch all your stuff. And so I will get there. I promise. We've been gone and different things. So I will be catching up on videos this week. So stand by for that. Can't wait to see what you guys have all been up to. Yeah, fire season almost got you last year. Yeah, Eastern Washington can have some really bad ones too, can't they? It's just so scary to live in the forest. It's a beautiful place. It's an amazing lifestyle. It's an amazing location. These dogs, can you hear them? They're back. Quiet. Go home. Go home. Oh, I thought they went. Quiet. Their dogs are going nuts. All night long they've been going. No, the cows aren't up here. They're down below. My cows? My cows got out of there. They're supposed to be down below. Oh, my cows have gotten out up there. That's what the dogs are barking at. Good night, honey. Kids are going to bed. Call me the Red Lobster. Thanks so much for being here, Drops Family Garden. So good to visit with you. Really nice to have you on. Have a good night. Go get them. I know. Well, I see now that my cows are up there. I don't know how they got out of their electric. I mean, it's all fenced over there. They can be over there. It's not like they're out. But I had, you know, I maybe better check to make sure that they're not on the other side of the fence. I better go over there and check. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us tonight. It was so good to chat. We talked about so many things. If you have any recipes or things that you make, let me know, because I really do want to follow up with some of those stuff and make some new things. But if you haven't subscribed to me, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button on your way out, and I'll catch you guys next time. Thank you so much for being here with me. Have a good night.